the start of week 5 of Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge, and it's currently 5 o'clock in the evening. I'm sitting here down by the waterfront. I have about an hour before I have to teach my 2 evening classes, and this is going to be kind of a different kind of week. So normally you will see me running, talking to you guys, which you'll see that portion of it for sure. There'll be some of that in here. But I've actually teamed up with Suzie over at I Run Things to both tackle the same topic for our training videos this week. And that topic is how we juggle everything in life that it can throw us while also doing marathon training or distance training. So I can tell you right now, it is a Monday. My schedule during the week, because when I'm not in shows, which I'm currently now in another show, I am actually teaching a lot of classes. So I'm a freelancer, I'm a Pilates teacher, a yoga instructor, and that's all based under freelance work, which means I don't have a typical 9-to-5 job. I teach at different studios, and that puts me in different, places around the city as well as different times. So it makes it challenging to kind of squeeze in everything I need to squeeze in. This particular fall semester, I worked really hard on creating a schedule that would allow me to have a little more flexibility and freedom for my runs, because I knew that eventually we would be getting into some major mileage. So I've been working on that a lot. But this week, Monday's technically my day off, which means that I have a little bit more time before I have to go to these evening classes. I just teach 2 on Monday nights, and I don't have rehearsals on Monday evenings, so that helps out as well. But I usually always schedule my runs Tuesday, Thursday, and then a long run on either Saturday or Sunday, depending on how the schedule looks. But you're seeing me at the start of the week. I am going to be definitely taking you along so you can see what it is like to live here in New York City, hustle from place to place, and get these training miles in. And I actually have it easy because I don't have children. I don't have a job that requires me to travel for a living. I don't have a 9-to-5. I'm not a stay-at-home mom that has like 0 amounts of copious free time. So all in all, I should not complain because I have a lot more flexibility in my schedule than most people do. So, but you're gonna see that in this upcoming video, so cheers. And yes, it's 5 and I had to get a coffee because I had to wake myself up. Good morning. It is, I don't know my watch on, 6:52, and I have a long day ahead of me. So let's get some coffee. Okay, you guys, I made it out the door. I am headed into town. So basically, here's what's happening on my schedule today. I've got 2 morning classes. Then I have a session at prehab. Then I have 2 more classes. Then I have rehearsal. Now it's a Tuesday, which means I normally would do my training run today, but because my schedule is packed so tight, I'm going to have to reschedule that training run for tomorrow. So this is what I've learned over the past 5 years of running, is that when it comes to the training plans, especially these ones that are longer weeks, let me try to get out of the sun here. You gotta give yourself some flexibility because life happens, and it's just the way it is sometimes. But busy schedule. I'm going for another coffee because I need it. My body's like, coffee, more coffee. So here we go. Okay, so I have paused here for just a second in Central Park. I try really hard on the days that I know I'm working on the east side or the west side to walk as much as I can in Central Park just to kind of clear my mind, get myself ready for what tends to be a very strenuous and busy day. When you live in New York City, you walk a lot. So I average about 10 miles a day based on what my Garmin information tells me. So it is very funny when you're training for a long distance race like the Galloway plans. They will have eventually these walks that you need to get in the day before a long run. And that's to really kind of simulate those back-to-back races. But when you live in New York City, you are constantly doing long walks before your long runs. So I do always feel prepared as far as like mileage on my legs and my endurance of walking and running long distances because I live here in the city. But yeah, so I do try to take advantage as much as I can. I do love being in Central Park in the transition between summer and fall because there's so much foliage going on. You can kind of see behind me here that there is a ton of leaves changing, and we get to kind of see the seasons. So I'm going to keep rocking and rolling. I am going to head onto the subway and take it on up to Columbia University. Subway again, and I'm walking through the MetLife building, New York Life building, not MetLife, New York Life, to go teach class number 3, one more after this, and then rehearsal. But boy, that bus ride, no, never again. Okay, making my way to rehearsal. Let's go. Went and got another coffee. I am on my way to Michael's, and we're running Central Park because it's a training day. I switched yesterday to today because, like we talked about, life happens. And so I am on my way to Michael's, pick him up. We're going to walk over to Central Park, run it, come back, and then on with the rest of my day. So cheers to Wednesday, hump day. Got Michael. So here's our plan. We're going to run a loop of the reservoir, which if you've ever been to Central Park, you have probably walked up here because it's a famous tourist area. And then we're going to do the Briar Patch, which I've lived here for 10 years and just now learned that it's called the Briar Patch. I'm like, is this Splash Mountain? What is this? So we're going to do the Briar Patch, the reservoir, and then now that I have let Michael taste the pumpkin spice cold brew foam, we got to go get one afterwards. Duh. Yeah, that's what we were saying, right? About the about when he was like, oh, too boring. Good morning. It is 6:50 a.m. on Friday, and I am on my way to New York Roadrunners to teach my class. So I did not take my camera out on yesterday's run, but I have been doing back-to-back runs this week just because that's the only way my schedule would permit it. So I did a 45-minute maintenance run on Wednesday, which you saw, did another one yesterday, which you didn't see, and today starts the first day where we are incorporating a walk before the long run tomorrow. So today's walk, 4 miles. I'm going to take it in Central Park just to kind of relax into it and do it, and then last run tomorrow of week 5, which will be an 8-mile run, which I'm doing with Annie. So it's been a crazy week. I gave you a little taste of what my week is like and how I juggle it all, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. All right, good morning. Good morning. It is Saturday and it's the 21st of September and it is time for a long run, and this will be the longest run that I have done yet in this training plan. So 8 miles today. It is 6:35 a.m. here in New York City. The sun just came up just a little bit ago. It's about 64 degrees outside, which it's warmed up. It was getting cooler. Now it's warmed up for a few days, but I'm heading over to pick up Annie. So I'm doing my first 2 to 3 miles, going to pick her up because she's training for the New York City Marathon, and she has 18 miles on the books today. So I'm doing 8 of those with her. So running over to get her, and then running the rest of the way to 8, heading to teach my 2 classes, rehearsal, and then a friend's show. So it's another one of those crazy busy days, but that's what week 5 was all about how do I juggle it all and stay sane, and we'll talk about that more on the run, but let's get this run started. All right, let's go. All right, so 8 miles, that felt really good. I did not take my camera out because I was busy chatting with Annie the entire run. We made it up and over the Queensboro Bridge, which put me at 7.21 miles. And then I gave her a hug. She went off to finish her 14 miles that she had left to do in her long run. And I hiked it back over to finish out 8 miles on the other side of the Queensboro Bridge. Let me get out of the sun. So that concludes week 5 of Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge for me, and finished strong. 2 45-minute maintenance runs, a 4-mile walk, and an 8-mile run today. Got another coffee and heading on to go teach. I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit of how I juggle my crazy life. You know what? At the end of the day, you just find a way to juggle it. And some days are better than others, and some days really work out with the training, and some days don't, but you try to remain flexible and just be so grateful that you get to do this. In the grand scheme of life, let's just be happy and grateful that we get to put one foot in front of the other. And when those days mess up and we don't get all the miles in, it's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. So I will see you guys next week for week 6 of Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge. We'll talk about more miles, more fun things. I'll come up with some crazy topic, I'm sure, to discuss. And other than that, cheers, you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.